Hello and welcome everyone to the Good Bad Business. My name is Sriram and I'm very excited to be here to kickstart my YouTube journey with you. This is my very first video, and in this video we together, you and me, we are gonna explore and find out something really interesting. And you know what it is? It is going to be about Google and its business. So without further ado, let's get to business. Google, the tech giant that we all very well know and use its products every single day, right? Whether it's searching for answers in Google search or binge watching videos in YouTube, or even about navigating to your favorite places using Google Maps, Google has become an integral part of our daily lives, isn't it? With all the knowledge that we already have about Google and its products, now here is a very interesting question to you. What's driving Google's business growth? In other words, which product or business of Google is growing the most? Any guesses? Well, that's exactly what we are going to find in this video. So buckle up and stay put with me. Let's go find out. To answer the question which business of Google is growing the most, let's take a step back and start looking at the financial earnings statement, the recent one from Google, which is Q3 of 2024 this year. As you can see here on the left side under the title Quarter Ended September 30, Google had an amazing quarter when you compare its Q3 earnings of 2024, which is this year, versus last year 2023. Google had $88 billion in revenue and $26 billion in net income just in a single quarter. Let's move on to the right side. What you see under the title, the year-to-date earnings September 30, is nothing but the cumulative earnings of Google so far. So what is Google's revenue and net income till Q3 of 2024? It is a whopping $253 billion in revenue and $73 billion in net income so far. And we still have one more quarter to go in this fiscal year, remember? It is very evident from these numbers that Google is such a gigantic business. Not only that, Google is continuing to prove that it is one of those highly successful companies of all time, an absolute powerhouse. With their unstoppable innovation and total market dominance, Google is sending the signal very clear. They are an absolute winner. Now that we got a glimpse at Google's consolidated earnings statement, let's break this down a little bit more and try to look at the revenue across the different individual business segments within Google. Once we take a look at that will help us understand how these different businesses are performing within Google. So let's go pull that up and take a quick look at it. This is how Google reports its earnings usually, across its three different major business segments. Firstly, we have got Google Services, which mainly includes its ad revenues. Secondly, Google Cloud, and finally, Other Bets, which is nothing but mostly the revenues from the rest of its businesses. As you can see here, the biggest chunk of Google's revenue comes from its Google Services segment. In Q3 alone, Google Services business brought in a whopping $76.5 billion. And that was majorly contributed by its Google Search and YouTube's ad business. No surprises there, right? Next comes Google Cloud. We all know that Google Cloud is its hyperscale, or otherwise called the cloud computing business. Revenue from Google Cloud in Q3 2024 is $11.35 billion. You know what? In the grand scheme of things, this is a small piece for Google, isn't it? Compare this $11.35 billion versus $76.5 billion from Google Services business that we just looked at a few seconds ago. You will know what I'm talking about. The last piece of their earnings report contains Other Bets, and that is even smaller to quantify because it is just $388 million. And that pretty much sums up Google's revenue story across its different businesses: Google's ad business, Google Cloud, and Other Bets. Now that we got a good understanding of Google's business and its earnings across its different business segments as of Q3 2024, now let's go back to the original question. So what was the original question? What is Google's biggest business growth driver, right? So to answer that question, we need to do one more thing. We need to compute the growth percentage across these different business segments that we just had a look at. So let's go ahead and do that now. So here's the deal. What we see here is Google's services business grew by 12.5%, and that comes from the $76.5 billion of revenue that we just had a look at. We all know that Google's ad business contributes a lot to Google's revenue, and it also grows at a steady pace. But this time around, we have a new star, and that new star is Google Cloud. Google Cloud is experiencing an explosive growth like it has never before. It grew by 35% in revenue the last quarter. This clearly shows that Google's cloud business is taking off. Remember, Google's cloud business started reporting profits only from 2023. It is very reassuring to see that Google Cloud is now not only reporting profits, but it is also experiencing this explosive growth. So going back to the original question, which business of Google is the biggest growth driver? And the answer is Google's cloud business, which is experiencing 35% revenue growth, and that is as of Q3 2024. Hope you learned something new in this video and enjoyed listening to me. You take care and see you soon with another exciting video. Until then, thank you from The Good Bad Business.